The RACE method, RACE is an acronym and it stands for reflect, ask, connect, expand.
I think it was life-changing for a lot of people because they began to see how big the problem is, how constant, how all-enveloping for our culture it is, and gave people tools to start in the very next conversation to make choices as to how they want to participate, and giving people hope.
For the sake of simplicity, if you just believe that racism is a real thing, you are an ally. Racism against people of color is a real thing, you're an ally. And if you do not believe that, you are a skeptic. Of course, there is a range within that. There are people who just don't believe that. There are people who are actively resentful of people of color. The alt-right is in this group, they're at an extreme, but there's a range there.
I loved it. This was new material for me. Very lighthearted and yet really great at teaching us all to be allies.
Here's one thing to remember. Racism is a very serious topic, and it's okay to have fun while we're learning to deal with it. Can you tell me a story about that? A brief one?
I'm not sure I've ever done it.
So, many of the things on the bottom of the sheet are theoretical, okay? The goal of this project is to move white opinion about racism 10 percentage points by 2025. Right now, 55% of white folks think racism is not a real thing, believe that racism against white people is just as important as racism is against people of color, and 45% think opposite. The goal of this project is to flip that 10 points in 7 years. And one of the things we're trying to do is to encourage and empower y'all and equip y'all to have more effective conversations with those people I mentioned. Often, people like y'all either combat them and call them names and try to make them feel bad, or you just avoid the conversation altogether. The goal is to get you to not avoid, not confront, but engage in a way that's more effective.
My key takeaways really are those tools, wonderful resources to pull from if I find myself in a difficult conversation or an opportunity to hold space for a student of mine or a colleague. I really appreciate having materials to take home and revisit and process.
It was very entertaining and it was very instructive. You know, you're going to confront racism, we all do, and if you want to learn how to deal with it, this is a really excellent way to do that.
Just to be clear, I have never been around white people when there wasn't a black person there. Right? If we're going to move white public opinion, that can only happen if a whole bunch of white people have a whole bunch of better conversations with other white people that actually move the needle over time.
Educational,
Very fast.
fun,
Entertaining,
Fun.
instructive,
Enlightenment.
Exciting,
Positive,
Dynamic.
interactive.
practice.